Hey, Christina, it's Jess Harnell. I got your very sweet request for a cameo here. And listen, there's a lot to say, at a time like this. First of all, my condolences on the passing of your dad 7 years ago. Obviously, you're still hurting about it. And you said you're wondering if I have any advice on how to get through grief. Well, the best advice that I can give you about it is that it's an inevitable part of this experience that we call life. It just happens. And sometimes grief is sort of the price tag that we pay for loving someone or something. And then we've got to ask ourselves, the question we have to ask ourselves when grief comes around is the pain that we're feeling worth the time and the memories that we share with the person or thing we're feeling it for? And when you balance the scales that way, generally you find that the grief doesn't weigh nearly as much as the joy and the memories that you have of the time that you shared with someone that you loved so very much. Does that make sense? Grief is inevitable, but what is optional is not being kind to yourself, okay? Because it is a heavy emotion and it's hard, particularly at the holidays sometimes when we miss people so very, very much. But in this instance, my suggestion to you would be this. I've worked very hard at cultivating the trait of objectivity. And what objectivity means to me is separating myself and my own opinions from situations and just looking at them in black and white and not saying, yeah, but what about me? And this is how I feel. No, just looking at the situation. So my question to you, when you have these thoughts of self-harm and ending your life, how would your dad feel about that? How would he feel about you having those thoughts? And even more so, how would he feel about the potential of you acting on those thoughts? My guess, although I did not have the pleasure of knowing your father, is that he would not be too crazy about that idea, right? So if you love your dad and you want to honor your dad's memory, wouldn't you want to do things that would make him happy as opposed to break his heart? Makes sense? So what I'm saying is that, hang in there for him, hang in there for the people that care about you in this world, and hang in there for yourself, because you know what? I'm telling you first, and thank you for the position of importance that you have honored me and Rob and Randy with. I mean, that's very kind of you. But the most important person to save you is you. I don't know what your situation with faith is like or where any of that lies with you, but that can be a great asset in times like these. But the most important thing, like I said, is to be good to yourself and ask yourself how your dad would want you to be to you. My guess, again, is that he'd want you to treat yourself with plenty of love and patience and compassion. And I've lost both of my parents. And when I think back on it, Christina, I always come back to the immortal words of Winnie the Pooh, who was a pretty good philosopher for a stuffed bear with no pants. And what he said was, rather than being sad that it's over, I will be happy that it happened. Huh? Pretty good stuff. Pretty smart bear. Anyway, lots of love to you. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. You hang in there, okay? I'm counting on you. Don't let me down. Be good to yourself, okay? Much love. Merry Christmas.